Everyone start to join us for this live with the legend, with the man, Joshua James Harvey. And he's already here, so let's bring him up and yeah, let's start this. This is gonna be fun. It's connecting. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
what's up, everybody?
How's it going,
How you doing,
man?
man? It's been
Good,
a while.
good. You're having a little delay here. Let me just see if I can fix that. Can you hear me better?
Oh, I hear you great. Am I
Okay.
delayed?
No, you're perfect now.
Excellent.
Man, what's up with this long hair?
Oh, you haven't seen nothing. Oh, that's
No,
right. I was gonna wear it down for everybody.
that's
Yes.
cool. That man,
Yeah. There we
jeez,
go. That's
man,
long hair.
it's that is a long hair, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's
I don't know. Went full hippie. I loved it.
that's that's the way to go, man. Free yourself. That's nice. How you been, man?
I've been doing all right. I can't complain, really.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
That's amazing. So, man, I have a lot of questions for you today. Thank you so much, first of all, for joining us for
Oh,
this
well,
little
thanks for
chat.
having me.
Man, it's a great pleasure. I've been always a fan of your work, and I told you that before, you know. And I don't know if you know that, but one of the reasons that I do collage today and I use photos is because I cannot draw like you do. So I kind of gave up and I'm doing just like something else. So, man, yeah, we work, I think, for a year at Buck, right?
Yeah, and it feels really quick, but
It was quick.
yeah, you sat next to me, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, sat right next to
yeah.
me. That was awesome. Fun times.
Fun times, fun times. And now
Yeah,
you've been a freelancer since then.
yeah, just been doing a bunch of different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to, for a while I was just developing my own stuff, tried
Mm-hmm.
directing, and then shortly after I had left, I jumped onto that game project, and that took me like 3 years. So that was a huge chunk of the time since then. And
Yeah,
now I'm just back to, directing, freelancing, trying to develop my own clients,
that's
the
cool.
game, back to the
That's
game.
cool. That's cool. That's what I want to talk to you about because you seem to be like a very flexible artist. You know, like you are very artistic in technical stuff like 3D. You know, you do cell animation. You do like a little bit of everything, but you do it great. You know,
Oh,
so
thank you.
how's this experience from you to go from a production film, commercial ads, part of the industry, and jump into the game. How different are those two worlds for you?
I don't think that they're that different for me
Mm-hmm.
in particular. Like I feel like creatively, I definitely approach them from the same standpoint. Obviously, I think the biggest impact for me is just limitations on what you can do, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously commercials, film, you just render it and then play it back, so there's no real limitations on
Yeah,
anything. But in video games, there's a lot of limitations, and so you kind of make all those decisions up front. You say, okay, we're going to do a visual aesthetic that's going to require limited shapes, polygons. You're not doing
mm-hmm.
fluids. Don't design anything with cloth on it if you can help it. Stuff like that. So,
Sure.
but once you make all those decisions, it's a project like any other. You
Mm-hmm.
have your set of design rules. You follow them. You model. You animate, and you hand it off to an engineer, and hopefully there's no issues.
So
Yeah.
you did the entire art direction. What's the name of the game again?
Where cards fall.
Where cards fall. Where cards
Yeah.
fall. Yeah, and it's I played that game actually.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and because like I saw like during the process you were posting little hints of the project here and there, you know, like, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought the visual super interesting. So you did the entire art direction for the project
Yeah.
and like the entire thing. Do you have a
So
team to work with you?
so we had a whole team of
Mm-hmm.
3D artists that work
Mm-hmm.
in Unity that like know Unity and they know game production. And so, you know, sometimes like my style frames, I would paint them, and a lot of times I would build 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I would have basically, you know, full game levels that my models basically were just translated straight into Unity with like minimal cleanup.
That's
So
cool.
is a little bit of both in terms of that workflow, but definitely heavily relied on, you know, people who knew Unity and were comfortable with that, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, that whole process. So
That's pretty
um,
cool.
yeah,
And you spent 3 years working on that project.
I think it's 3 years, 2016 until basically late last year. So
Wow.
yeah.
But fully on that project, you were doing stuff
It
on the
was
side.
it was pretty much only on that project. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man.
To finish the little note on the team thing, because like there was also like 2D illustrators too. We hired some
Mm-hmm.
people. A friend of mine, Pete McDonald. I think his website's like Pete J McDonald. You guys
Mm-hmm.
should definitely check him out. He's amazing. He helped out with a lot of the 2D design early on. Super talented. Helped out with designing like the textures that are on all the cards and stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
later we hired more people. We had two more illustrators that worked on it. Um, Stephanie Pozos, who is Alex Dingfelder's wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know Alex. She helped out. She designed a lot of the stuff as well and did some concept art. Um, there was, oh, man, I'm going to blank on the names, but one of the a really great designer who's worked on the Facebook stuff. I can't remember. Why
You worked
can't
at
I remember
Buck?
his name? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a freelancer, but he worked at Buck on like the Allegra stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, I had like really talented help for sure.
That's cool.
You
That's
know, but
cool.
I defined like a, you know, a show Bible and a design
Mm-hmm.
Bible to follow, and you know, everybody
People
worked on
do
that.
their job. Man, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And the first, like,
Kevin Kim, there he is. Thank
Kevin
you.
Kim. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
See? People are part of this too, man. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
That's cool. So the biggest project you've worked, like the first one, it was the Happy Factor.
Yeah, Happiness Factory. That was huge.
Happiness Factor from
Seminal
PsyOp.
moment.
From PsyOp, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
was for
psyop.
you to work with that like crew and to be part of that big project?
That was huge. I mean, the thing is like outside of like film work, no one had done anything like that. So it was like this. It was kind of like this run and gun moment where it's like, all right, well, how can I help? And here's how I can help. And I ended up
Hmm.
doing technical direction and just making sure everything flowed smoothly. A lot of the problems that we had in that were like memory issues with rendering, and I was
Mm,
really heavy into rigging, so I was rigging a lot of stuff and setting up a workflow so that when you brought all these assets together, the computers weren't, you know, shit in the bed because there's, you know, duplicate shit everywhere.
yeah.
But it was a lot of technical stuff on that one. I didn't do any design work on that. I did a little bit of animation, but it was a lot of rigging and technical
Uh-huh.
troubleshooting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Man, and I feel like you were part of the teams, you were part of projects that uh broke our industry in a good way, of course, but you stopped everyone and put everyone to watch it. I like this is a must-see things. You were part of two biggest projects. This one for, with PsyOp, and
Mm.
of course the Good Books.
Yeah.
Man, Good Books was like I would say it was a turning point for the industry
Mm-hmm.
when that video came out. How's for you today when you look back because you got I know you guys had a lot of work on that project. How do you see that project today?
Um, being close to anything, you always see the flaws a lot of times, and
Hmm.
obviously now it's been a while, I can fully appreciate it, and I do really appreciate that project. I think it's pretty awesome. Um, it was I don't know, it's just one of those moments, and like even with Happiness Factory, it's kind of like right place, right time. You know,
Hmm.
um, with Happiness Factory, I wasn't part of the creative. I didn't, do anything. I just happened to be, able to enable that project and help it out, and I
Hmm.
was there. And then on Good Books, that one was a perfect storm where it was just, a script came in with an open brief. It was like, what would you guys do? And we had the choice of the three scripts that came with that project. So of course we picked,
Hmm.
Hunter, because it's badass, and
Yeah,
we wanted to do badass stuff. So and that
man.
that kind of fits my whole ethos with life, like the Hunter S. Thompson thing. Like I don't like I'm not a big fan of this clean, super clean geometric,
Uh-huh.
trend that's happening right now. I like
Uh-huh.
things that are like messy and dirty and wild,
Yeah,
and you know,
man.
pushing
High
people
five to
around a
that.
little bit.
High five to that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, like your stuff, 100%. Absolutely. Um, yeah, I don't know. I look back at it, and it was an awesome time where it was just on. We were all
Hmm.
just we were just doing what we do best, and everyone was like, I don't know, putting their best
Yeah,
foot
yeah.
forward, and
Yeah,
yeah,
we can tell by watching that everyone was putting out their heart into the field
yeah,
because that plays on screen. We can see a lot of passion. It's not like just design and not like a very good cell animation or 3D animation because I know it's a combination of techniques in there,
mm,
but there's a lot of hearts in there. And
yeah,
I kind of miss seeing projects like that. We're not seeing those things
yeah,
nowadays, you know?
yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, like a lot of times, I think with any project that I try to do in that one, I try to, like, anytime I see a concept or an idea or something getting overly generalized, I try to kind of like step back from that and
Hmm.
look back at my experience in life, or like things that maybe, like little details that I know from the real world that could maybe make this thing a little bit more specific, or a little bit more, unique to, a particular person. Just because I think that's interesting. Like details are interesting,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. Hmm.
And so even if it's like, the best movies aren't about everyone. They're about
Hmm.
one person usually,
Yeah.
or a few people, and they all have distinct personalities and distinct ways that they move through things. And I think that, when you're making a film or a project, they need to have that same kind of singular vantage point. That's my
Totally.
my opinion.
No, totally agree. I agree with you. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. And how long did you guys work on the project? Do you
I want to
know?
say it's so funny because I've done so many long projects recently. That thing, I think we did it in like
It was one
three
of the
months.
short ones.
I think it was like 3 months. I
3
I can't
months?
even remember. It was like 3 months, I think.
Really? I
Yeah.
could swear like you would say like a year or so, a year and a half or something, you
No,
know?
we it wasn't. Well, I gave a talk on kind of like the aftermath of that project, in
Mm-hmm.
that, and because a lot of people were like, how do you do a passion project like that and juggle
Mm-hmm.
all the other work? And it's like, well, you don't. That's how you do it. You
You
treat it like a
just,
project.
yeah, you
It
treat it
is
like
a
a
project.
project
Yeah.
with a deadline, real deadline,
Real
like, yeah,
deadlines,
yeah, yeah.
and there's a budget attached. Granted, that
Mm-hmm.
budget might be a little loose, but
But
you
it's okay.
know
Yeah, of course. It was a project.
it was a project. Yeah, and we had
Mm-hmm.
people that we hired and schedules and
Mm-hmm.
the whole
Do you
nine.
know, do you know how many people work on that project?
I've
Roughly.
tried to
I know it's a
I've
little
tried to
very,
answer this so many times.
yeah, I know it's a very, it's, yeah.
The thing is like, not everybody worked on it the whole time,
Uh-huh.
but I would say at minimum like 30 to 50 people in
Okay.
total, and probably like somewhere between, anywhere from 20 to 35 at one time, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. That might
Yeah,
be
yeah,
accurate. That might be
yeah.
completely wrong. But
That's cool, man.
yeah.
And do you have like any memories about the project, like challenges in or like a specific part of that film that you guys struggle? I know like Buck, they have like an amazing team, but is there a moment you guys thought, okay, this is gonna be hard to pull it off?
There's a lot, actually. There's
Yeah.
like quite a few in that project. Because with a project like that, like it's kind of like an all or nothing. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's a weak point, you gotta say this is still weak,
Mm-hmm.
and keep working on it. And so there was the like really detailed animation of the book opening up to the flowers, which was an interesting moment. There was figuring out what is our crescendo, how are we, like, what's happening there that's going to be bigger than everything else, so that
Mm-hmm.
you feel like this big rush at the end. There was that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was also the project actually got deleted at one
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah, something
Tell
happened,
tell
and
us
it was
about it.
weird because we didn't. It was like super not professional at that point, with our file system backup. It was basically just cloning, and it wasn't an offset clone or
Uh-huh.
like a true backup. It would just
Jesus.
overwrite like one folder every night at like some time, and someone had deleted the folder on accident. Apparently on accident, who knows? There's talk about whether that was on accident or not, but right before the backup happened, so the project gets deleted, and then the backup overwrites the clone folder with nothing.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
man.
so the next week or two, all the drives were off with recovery, professionals, and we recovered. We recovered some stuff. We recovered a lot of
Okay.
it,
Okay.
so that was good. But that was like, man, that was a kick in the nuts.
I know, dude, of
Yeah,
course. Of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
Jesus. I didn't know that.
yeah. So that happened.
Man, that
Yeah,
dude. So for a minute, the world almost didn't see the good books
yeah,
for a little
yeah.
bit. Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's nuts, man. That's cool. Do you have like a favorite scene or favorite shot in that particular film?
I think my favorite. I'm gonna have to say favorite. I mean,
Not
no, I can't.
favorite,
I
but
I gotta
yeah,
say,
it's kind of hard to say favorite for that project
oh
specifically,
man,
but
yeah, well, it's like every
something that
3 seconds or something. I'm like, oh, it could be that one.
yeah.
Oh, maybe it's that one. Maybe it's that one. But I think there's a lot that I really love. I really like the book opening to the flowers, because that was like such
Uh-huh.
a cool like combination of 3D and 2D, and I really love like the end where he's just like coming out of his mouth several times,
Man,
and yeah,
that's the brutal part. Yeah, I love that part too. That's so
yeah.
cool, man. That's so cool. And you've been working like a lot of projects with Bug. How long did you work there?
4 years, and
Four
then I was
years.
working with the New York office before I came out to LA.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah,
you've been part of Bug family for that some time, you know.
sometime. Yeah,
Yeah, you have
2013 or so, I think,
yeah.
is the first time I worked there. Maybe a little earlier,
Hmm.
2012.
And how was for you to decide that it was time for you to go solo and it was time for you to go as a freelancer and explore the world?
Ooh, hmm.
Because
Well,
I know it must
it
be
was the
like
second time.
a tough decision.
That was round two, and
Hmm.
it's a tough decision.
Hmm.
And it's very complicated, and there's a lot of things that go into it. So I think that particular time when I left Buck, it was it was a combination of a little bit of creative insecurity, where
Hmm.
you know I wasn't sure that I could keep upping the ante, or I don't know exactly what it was, but I felt like maybe I was just in a weird spot, so like that added a little bit. There was a little bit of anxiety about
Hmm.
that. But then it was also, I kind of saw that the whole industry and what we were doing with Facebook, Apple, and Google was going to get really big, and
Hmm.
was going to kind of take over, and it was going to be
Hmm.
basically all about that. And I already said this earlier. I'm just not a fan of that.
Hmm.
It's not really That's not really what I want to spend my time doing.
Yep.
And also, there is um, there's just the element of like working in an office every day, that it's just like Well, I can only do this for
Hmm.
so long. Buck was my longest staff job ever.
The
So
routine,
yeah,
the
the routine
routine.
was, I
Yeah.
mean, and I love working around people, don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
I love working with
No, no.
people and working with the team. But yeah, it was just a combination of all those things. And then Passion Pictures, they approached me about repping me. And so I was like,
Hmm.
fuck it, let's give it a shot. And basically fell on my face, but it was okay.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
think it was exactly the same reasons that I decided to let book. It was
Hmm.
like I was doing of course, again, we're not trash talking anyone here. Like book is
No.
by far the the greatest studio that I have worked. I've learned so much. But I just wanted to do like more weird stuff, like
Yeah.
more crazy
Yeah, we
stuff. I
used to
just
do
want,
we used to do weird stuff. The industry used
yeah,
to be super weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's mostly like,
And
oh, I froze you for a bit, but I think
yeah.
you're back. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so yeah, I think the industry is creating like this weird scenario where we have like to do. Uh, can you?
Maybe.
Okay, now I can hear you here. So yeah, so man, so what's now that you're a freelancer, you work in the game industry, you did a bunch of cool stuff. What's next for you? Do you have plans? Do you like being solo? Do
Well,
can we see
I
like
love being solo for sure, and I'm trying right
yeah.
now. I'm
Hmm.
like trying to like grow my business
Hmm.
into more of a like production aspect where I'm hiring people to do stuff, and got a little element of client relations going on. I have a producer that I'm working with now. It's amazing,
That's
and
cool.
it's super helpful for that. And, like if I
Oh
can't
man.
do the design, then I hire designers and I work with them. We put together productions, and I'm basically trying to like grow that so that
Hmm.
it's. And I think I thought a lot about going back to another studio potentially, but it's like the studios will always be there, and if I
Hmm.
absolutely fail, then I can always paint
Hmm.
pictures for a living, or draw or rig or animate or whatever
Totally.
needs to be done. I can do that stuff. So I'm just trying to hang loose out here.
That's cool, man.
Do
That's
cool,
great.
find cool stuff, find cool clients, and
And do the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. If there's
Do
cool opportunities, I jump on them. Like
jump on
build
it.
as much equity as possible.
Of course. Are you still doing work for studios, or are you doing like straight clients, agencies?
It's a mix of everything.
Hmm.
Today I'm working for a studio this week, um, and then let's see. Last week, the past few weeks, and then next week on, I'm going to be working for one of my own clients.
Cool.
And then before that, I was working for an agency to develop some content, which then
Uh-huh.
turned into directing the content, which was cool. So yeah, it's like it's all over the place.
Man,
It's
that's great. That's great.
yeah.
Like in the middle of like the workflow and everything, do you still have time to learn? Are you still learning something?
Oof.
Do you
Um,
have do you desire or are you aiming to learn something new?
I don't aim to learn new stuff, but
Hmm.
there are things that I just find interesting that I want to do, I want to learn.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it doesn't have to
uh,
be like softwares or like anything like related to the animation world. It could
mm,
be like, I don't know, maybe you want to learn more about business, the business sides of the industry
right.
or.
So I've always kind of approached learning as a get a project where you don't know everything on the project and you'll learn it because you have to. And I feel
Hmm.
like that's the most efficient way to learn something.
Uh-huh.
Um, And so I kind of have just been approaching it that way. So yeah, like developing the business side of my practice is also about learning that stuff and learning
That's cool.
client relations and how to talk and negotiate and all that stuff. Which there's a lot of that I was already doing. Having worked at Buck as a creative
Hmm.
director.
Hmm.
Um, so it's just continuing to develop that and do it for myself and yeah, I mean, learning it's super important. but I'm an old man now and I can't stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning learning
Not anymore,
everything.
man. Not anymore.
Although
I have a lot of gray hairs here, so
I do
not
from time to time. Like I just learned Marvelous Designer, which is honestly that takes about an hour, but you
okay.
know, it's pretty easy. But then you know, I'm also have just recently dove into Mudbox, and it's like okay, because
Okay.
ZBrush is a beast,
Oh
and I
man,
know it's
yeah.
better than Mudbox. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, everybody. ZBrush is great. I'm not going to deny that, but Mudbox is way faster.
Yes.
To just jump in and like do a little sculpt and send it back to Maya, and it's done.
Uh-huh.
So I've been playing with that, and yeah, just you know.
Do you have a particular area like in the animation field that you enjoy doing more? Like, do you like design more? Do you like play around with ZBrush or?
I like the storytelling. I like doing the you know the storyboards and the design, and I think between you know doing a couple style frames and the
Hmm.
storyboards, like that right there is filmmaking. You know, and
Hmm.
that's my favorite thing. And I have never been gotten an opportunity to actually make a live action film, but I think that you know I would absolutely love that. That would be so fun because to
A
me
live
that's
action?
like yeah,
Really?
because
That's
then it's like
cool.
I can do all that. I can do all the stuff that I normally do for animation, but then you know you just go out and shoot it. There's no rendering. You
Yeah.
know, it's yes, there's still technical stuff you have to do, but you
I
know
think
you still get it.
it's more hard work in a way, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a quicker process, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. I thought you would say you want to do like a short film, like animated short film or something like that.
Well,
That
I
was
have
something
there's
a
other
bit
things. There's like a VR. I have a VR project that I want to do, but I'm still kind of figuring out how the story works.
hmm.
So that's gonna take some time.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
yeah, there's other stuff. I mean, I don't know. One of the problems that I have, I think,
Hmm.
with doing my own kind of work or pursuing my own stuff is
Hmm.
there's too many. I can't pick which one I want to do. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's difficult.
It's kind of hard, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
you seem to be very good at that.
I
I'm
do it.
actually curious how you do that.
I do because I like, for example, I usually try experimenting new techniques, or I try to
Mm-hmm.
experimenting. I use it as a study,
Yeah.
so basically I only see if that thing will work if I do it, so I jump into the After Effects and try to come up with something, but yeah, but I've been trying to come up with this short film now that I've been working, like it's been like a month working on this. It's a little bit ambitious,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a little scared. So where this is gonna lead me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the
Let's see.
momentum only builds, so you
Let's
know.
see. Yeah, let's see. It's
That's
gonna be
kind of the
fun.
thing. That's kind of the thing that I've found is the more you work on something, the easier it is to work on it. You know,
That's a good thing, man. Yeah, yeah,
it's
perfect.
hardest right at the start. So
Yeah,
you just got to keep going and sitting down. And that's like I think that's just how the creative process works in general. Like you get a job, and the
yeah,
good thing, like I feel like I'm paid to sit in my seat, and everything else will just happen. You know.
man. That's a great thing to say. Yes, I love that. I love that. And how do you like keep yourself motivated, keep yourself like creatively going,
Yeah, it's weird. I've never really thought of it. You know.
Yeah,
Like I get asked this question a lot. It's like, where do you find your inspiration? How do you keep
yeah. Do you have
moving and doing?
blocks? Because it seems for me like you don't have any blocks. Things just flows
There's
for
always
you
blocks.
like
There's always a block. I mean,
uh-huh.
yeah, there's tons of blocks, but I think I think blocks primarily come from not knowing what the root of your project is.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, I just try to understand the project from a really core fundamental level, and those attributes are what define or those are the things that's like your map when you get to a fork in the road and you don't know what to do about something. You're like, man, this thing just doesn't look very good. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do. You know, you can kind of like step back and be like, okay, well, what's this project about? And
Mm-hmm.
am I seeing that in this? You know, and
Okay.
then so then you're trying to like take what the project is about and put it into the thing you don't like. you know, and then a lot of times, like, you know, just trying different things based on that experimentation, it just, something happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know. I definitely have blocks.
That's
And I'll
cool.
get done at the end of a day. Usually when I'm blocked, I don't stop. I can't get up and
Oh,
walk
really?
away if I'm blocked. Yeah. If
Yeah.
I'm blocked, I smash my head against the wall
Just
until it
something
goes,
comes out.
until it goes through the other side. Yeah.
That's cool. So, like, for example, for you to create like some sort of concept or a character or whatever, you usually use mood boards, or do you go straight like I'm gonna do some tryouts here and see whether this is gonna lead me? How is this process of creation for you?
Okay, so
Do
the
you have a
first step,
rule or it's
well, reference collection is usually step number one.
hmm
Um, Obviously you want to read any briefs or come up with your own brief and figure out, like, you know, who am I talking to, and
hmm
who you're talking to will start to like segment there's all the art direction out in the world that you could go with, but who you're talking to starts to segment that down, you know, and it's like, who am I talking to is one half, and then it's also like, who is talking, like, who am I talking for, who's the client, and that's
hmm
the other half. And so you look for a Venn diagram that those overlap, right? So this is your choice. This is your pool of art directions that you can go with. And so then you start to pull reference in that area, and you're looking at it, and you're like, oh, this would be cool. This would be cool. I really like this. And then you start to make decisions. Then for me personally, I start to make decisions, like, how how much have I seen this? You know, how much
hmm
have I already seen this direction? Or can I mix two things here or there or whatever? And I'm pulling those things down, and then at a certain point you realize you've just pulled way too much reference and you need to stop.
hmm
And then I feel like, you know, your psyche gets preloaded with a bunch of stuff, so then I just like throw all the reference into a folder and I don't look at it for a while,
Okay.
and I just go into Photoshop and I just start working, doing random stuff, playing, experimenting, letting all those connections just connect freeform. I don't expect to have a style frame or anything that's going to work during this period. I just do a
hmm
bunch of stuff, come up with a bunch of ideas. Maybe I figure out like some shots or some elements that I want to put together. And then I kind of take that and I look at the reference and I say, okay, now let's get, you know, logical about this, and let's try to, like, you know, do shapes like this, and, you know, rough the edge up a little bit, maybe throw some
hmm
splatters, you know, stuff like that. And so it's really, it's for me like the whole idea of a lot of times you hear about, like, don't forget your process, always know your process.
hmm
And my process starts at creating a process. It's not like I don't
Cool.
repeat a process that I had before. I have a process of, you know, intake, you know, blind wild experimentation, and then slowly finding my way back out of the woods.
That's
And
cool.
hopefully I can remember how I got there, and then I can just repeat that.
That's
Right.
cool, man. That's so awesome. I have a great question here for you, Josh. It's from Medeiros Lab or Medeiros Lab. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I'm
Mm-hmm.
mispronouncing. So he said, "Hi guys, Joshua. I see your portfolio is a very diverse. Many people talk about having a portfolio focused on more on one thing, like to have a specific style.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it? About that?"
I think that if your goal is to get that type of work, then that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
If you want to, like, you want to show, like, in your portfolio should be a representation of what you want to work on, not what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you're primarily going to get hired for things that look like your portfolio.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, it's fine to do that, and I'm not going to judge anyone for doing
Mm-hmm.
that or having a particular aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I like to experiment. I like doing random things. I like trying new stuff, and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've ever repeated a particular aesthetic. You know,
Yeah. No, no,
at least
that's
not
it,
more than
man.
once.
I love that. That's one of the things that I want to talk to you about because it's really hard to keep things fresh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
like once you have like a style developed, I speak in my case, for example, I do collage thing. So
Right.
uh, even though I'm trying to push my collage to a certain level or try to explore different possibilities within the collage world, I'm always being replicating stuff. that I've created in the past. But creating different styles, different medias, it's really hard, man. That's why I ask you how you keep yourself like
Oh, it's
pushing.
frustrating as all fuck. I'll tell you that. It is. It is. It's super frustrating because
I
you
know.
find yourself repeating things like you're approaching a project and you've made a decision it should feel like this, and then you find yourself naturally just going off this other way, and you're like, no, stop doing that. That's not the way you're supposed to draw right now. Don't draw like that. And
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to. It takes a while. There's a bit of a reprogramming period where you're just trying to be like, okay, no, that's the wrong shape. I need to do different shapes, break out of this. And so you got to kind of teach yourself a new rhythm to work with. And I mean, I don't know exactly how it happens or what it does, but you know, it's a matter of, for me, I think that maybe the way to look at it is, if like I start over every project, you know, whereas you're evolving every project, right? And so you're looking for how can I change out this part or swap out this part to like make the car go faster, or maybe make the car more efficient, or maybe make it be able to run over rocks, you know, which is application specific as well. I think for me, I'm just like, fuck a car, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just because I don't know. I just try to start from the beginning, and I try
That's
to
cool.
look at like, you know, your basic principles of design, like shape, repetition, those things. And
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it. I'm not going to espouse that I'm very good at it, but I just, you know, I stumble my way from nowhere.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I think it's a really interesting approach, you know, like in my case, for example, I have like a hard time to like if I'm working like for a very long time, like let's say a month in this project, and I deliver this project and I'm about to start a new one, I still get attached to the past project, you know. For some reason, I want to bring something that I wasn't able to add into that project to this new one. But this project, it's a different one. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to separate, you know, like these two universes, you know. And yeah, I like the way that you reset things. You know, it's a clever way. Do you do something, some sort of like a break before starting a new project, or you just go like, no, let's try something
You have
different?
to. You definitely have to have a break, because I mean I've worked on, you know, several projects at once that are drastically different styles, and even just going from one to the next in the same day, it feels, at the end of the day, you feel dead. You feel like all your energy is gone. There's nothing left, just because you're constantly like, your brain is like,
it's resetting all the time.
It's got a rhythm, and it's flowing this rhythm, and then you're trying to say, hey, come over here, flow over here, and it's just like that is crazy. It's so taxing. And so yeah, there's like, you know, go make a coffee, go take a walk, you know, go sit in the backyard for 15 minutes and think about something completely unrelated, you know, just like give your brain an intermediary space that has nothing to do with the project you are currently working with. Try to shut down those rhythms that are currently firing so that you can start a new one. And a lot of times, like meditation works really well for me.
That's great. That's great. That's great. What do you like doing besides animation? Like in your spare time, you like to go for walks? Because I know you used to do like a lot of climbing. I don't know if you still do that.
Well, not anymore with COVID, but yeah, I climb like 2 to 3 times a week, or I used to. I would if it was open, or if it was safe. But I also, you know, I built a motorcycle, and that's an ongoing project forever. So I've gotta continue that. And we bought a house recently, so there's a lot of like, you know, fixing up the house, gardening. You know, I've had a pretty good routine lately where I wake up in the morning and I go do, you know, 30-40 minutes of gardening in the backyard before.
Oh, that's nice, man.
I just make a coffee and I go in the backyard and I just like, okay, well, what am I going to fix today, or you know, what needs help, you know, and I just, you know, weed some stuff maybe.
That's cool. What's your day like? How do you split your time during the day?
So I don't really have a routine, and
Yeah.
my wife will attest to the the annoyance of that. But basically, I wake up and like I said, I have like 30 or 40 minutes, hang out with my wife,
Are you a
let the
morning
dogs
person?
outside. No,
No.
not at all. Not a morning person at all. Okay, step number one is lay in bed for 30 minutes. Drag myself out of bed and then make a coffee, a
Uh-huh.
very strong coffee. Um, so I make coffee, granola, and yogurt, and I go in the backyard with the dogs and my wife, and just enjoy the morning and
That's cool, man.
everything, and just try to. I just try to just connect with. It sounds silly, but it's connect with nature. Like I just want
No,
to be outside.
it's
I
not
don't
silly.
wear
Yeah.
shoes when I go outside. I try
That's
to
cool.
my bare feet on the ground, and
Hmm.
I like personally I like to lay in the grass. I like to sit in the grass or like sit underneath a tree and that kind of thing.
That's cool.
Um, and then it's work time. That's like
Hmm.
my meditation with like just getting away from everything, and
Hmm.
then I sit down and I don't get up.
It's a good way to reset,
Yeah,
Like, so you're doing
yeah.
a great way to reset. Yeah, that's great,
Yeah, I'm
man.
very fortunate to have a yard that I can go into.
And especially in times like these, man, when you cannot go out, I can even imagine people in New York, for
I
example,
feel I
like,
feel for anyone who's got a difficult living situation during this.
dude, it's crazy, man. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy stuff, man. It's horrible. So, do you still have like a dream client, let's say a dream client or a dream project, something that you really want to do that you haven't yet?
This is an interesting question, because I thought when I was in high school that had set some pretty high goals for myself, um, and I've managed to accomplish those goals, and in that I'm working on like a national level of art and design, and have gone beyond that like
Hmm.
internationally, and have done some pretty big projects, which is cool. So in those regards, I feel like I'm kind of like lost at this point because I don't really know. Haven't really set new goals since then. I'm just like, okay, this is working, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and follow the
Hmm.
energy, I guess.
And
And that's kind of what I've been doing. I mean, I wanted to work on a game. That was
nice.
a goal that I set for myself, and
Hmm.
I put it out there, and it came, and
You
that was
did it.
great. So I'm thinking. I mean, right now it's like I just, to be perfectly honest, I want to get out of commercial art. I want to
Uh-huh.
make as much content as I can and
That's
build as
cool.
much equity in my projects that I can, and own them.
That's great. That's great,
That's
man.
kind of my goal.
Man, that's so cool. That's so cool. Man, let me just see if people have some questions here for you. Uh, Guys, you can put your questions here. There's a little box if you guys want to ask Josh some questions here. But I have one question. Actually, it's I saw a photo that you just posted on Twitter about your new setup.
Oh yeah,
Or yeah, man, that's a beast right there. So
it's
what's your setup?
so I just built a PC, with an Intel i990K, or F,
Okay.
actually the F. The F doesn't have onboard graphics because obviously we use graphics cards for what we do, so don't need
Hmm.
that. It makes it a little faster. And then I took my old computer. It had two 980 Ti's in it, and I combined it with two brand new 2080 Ti's, and I squashed all of them into one box.
Man,
So it gets hot in here.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine. Man,
yeah.
that's a devil in there.
It's
It's
it's pretty
cool.
fast. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
psyched on it
I
because
know.
I do a lot of Octane rendering, so
Sure.
it's really
Mhm.
good for that.
So you're using a lot of Cinema 4D right now,
No,
or
Maya.
it's
I
Maya,
only use
Maya,
Maya.
Maya. Okay, Maya. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. That's cool. That's cool. Are you still animating stuff? You don't animate anymore, just do like creative direction for studios, I mean, like when you. to work for studios? People usually hire you to do like the concept and creative direction, or
I
you do a little
probably
bit.
like if it's a studio. Studios don't tend to like to hire freelancers to do creative direction
Mm-hmm.
or direction in general.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm just doing concepts like art direction
Mm-hmm.
and setting a style for a pitch,
Mm-hmm.
or designing a few things here and there for someone. Yeah. So a lot of
Amazing.
times the work for studios it's pretty straightforward.
It
It's just
is, right?
design work. Yeah.
Just boom. Man, that's great. Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time because I know you are so busy doing stuff. You just started like this new gig today, and even though you took the time to talk with us and share some knowledge, some wisdoms, and man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. It's nice to know that people still know who I am. I've been gone for a while, so
No, yeah, but it's still there, man. Your work is still like it lives there, man, for sure, for sure.
awesome.
Okay. So, man, thank you so much. Keep doing like the great stuff that you always, been doing. And yeah, hope to see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, take care. Hopefully, when all this is cleared up, we can hang out.
For sure. That'll be amazing.
Hey,
Thank.
Emily.
She's the nicest. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
people here.
Oh,
Ah,
Claudio too. What's
Claudio.
up, dude?
Yeah,
Oh, thanks, Claudio.
the coolest. There's a bunch of nice people here
Yeah.
talking to you.
Thanks everybody for showing up to the live stream. Much
Yeah,
appreciated. Very cool.
amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And Josh, thank you so much. Hope to see you soon, buddy.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye bye.